So let's go on to section 2, our news and notes, or as I call it, the Do You Give a Bleep? So this is a set of news stories that Carissa has compiled. It's very popular. We're hoping to get a lot of searches on YouTube from these because I'm going to try to break them down.
I just want to note that Don gave us this really bleeping annoying thing where we can't curse on this show, and he wants us to say bleep instead.
Right.
And it's really quite the pain in the bleep. It's pretty bleeping frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's much easier for me to just not curse.
Yeah.
And besides which, I really don't want to give this mother bleeper the satisfaction.
So, what do we got?
Alright, first up is Brangelina.
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 Now,
this is news from like 15 years ago, isn't it?
What do you mean?
What's going on?
Sadly, I actually know more than you do about this topic.
So clue Greg in. You
terrifying to me that I know more than anyone on the subject of anything related to celebrity gossip.
Okay.
But
Did one kill the other?
That I feel like you would have heard about that. I think that actually would have filtered down.
Yeah.
But no, they are getting a divorce.
Okay.
It's a little messy.
And apparently Brad Pitt, there's some accusation from her to him of child abuse. But we don't yet know if that's a legitimate thing or if this is the paparazzi blowing things out of proportion. And again, a stake through my heart that I even know enough to relate that information.
So, yeah. So that has there been any? You went and you looked these up before we did this. Did you look? Did you see any latest news?
The latest news is that she has said that she will not testify against him if any sort of child abuse charges come to trial.
So she was the one who made the initial accusation, which would then make it come to trial, but then she refuses to testify against him?
She did not make the accusation.
Who did?
Apparently somebody reported something to the FBI, and so they're the ones investigating that. She just filed for divorce.
Man, that's gotta be a thing for celebrities. Like, everybody I know with kids, they're always worried about CPS. I'm worried about this. I gotta do things socially acceptable with my child, even though I don't necessarily agree that the rules are reasonable. For example, free-range parenting, and then all of a sudden, they're worried about CPS showing up at their doors. But these ultra mega international celebrities, they gotta worry about the FBI showing up at their door because maybe he swatted the kid on the butt for doing something wrong.
Right, and just from like. I have previously had respect for both of these people.
Right.
I like both of these actors, and they've done things outside of their acting profession that I have approved of. So my initial bias reaction is to be in Brad Pitt's favor, not against Angelina Jolie. Just like
right.
I don't want this to be true. Knowing that this is coming from random source makes me
hesitant.
You know, far more easy to. If it was an accusation from Jolie, then it'd be like, oh, Brad, how could you? Because it'd be hard to dismiss her saying it.
Right.
But random person reporting it, we need way more evidence before we can put any stock in that.
I agree. Now that camera's probably jiggling because Regal Cat is rubbing her face all over it. If she shows up after this section, we'll have you pick her up on camera and everybody can see how cute the friggin' kitty is. All right, what's next? So I think the general did you have any thoughts on it?
I don't give a bleep.
I don't give a bleep either.
I don't either.
Yeah. Do you give a bleep?
Generally, I don't. You know, it's only the fact that I have some modicum of respect for their non-actor endeavors that makes it a story that crossed my radar in the first place.
Right. And because it's what's his name from Fight Club.
Right, and you know we've had some people that have been long respected revealed to be monsters here recently.
Yeah,
and I'm
I don't really want to talk about Cosby.
Right, I mean I don't want to get there either, but him and Jared from Subway were two, like that. Both of those hurt for me personally, anyway. So
really,
so I didn't want. Like, I just don't want any more celebrities that I have any respect for to go down in the flames of a justified scandal.
That's true, and maybe we put too much stock in our celebrities, and we assume they're good people because they're famous. Where if you're poor and you get pulled over by the police officer, they assume you're not good because you're not famous. right? Could be that.
Well, I think
Who
that we
knows?
unquestionably obsess too much about celebrities.
Sure.
But at the same time, we have to acknowledge the reality that celebrities do function as a perverse role model. And I would like there to be at least a few people that you can point to and say, hey, this is someone I'd actually like my children to emulate if they're going to be emulating anyone.
Right.
So I'd like there to at least be a few bastions. And you always have to grade it. It's in degrees, right? Like
Sure.
no one is pure.
Right.
But I also think no one is completely evil either. So you always have to make a value judgment somewhere along the way.
Sure. And so I think it goes without saying at this point, if you have thoughts, if you give a bleep, if you really give a bleep, go ahead and leave a comment about why we should give a bleep. And I'll try to read the post. I don't know. And maybe we'll talk about it next week if there's more news. And then we'll bring up the comments. Best comments we'll bring up. I'll learn how to do Keynote, and then we can actually do this right.